Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another ink comparison video, and this is Diamine Inks comparison number 6. So I think with that, let's go and swap up some of these inks. The first ink is Diamine, and this is Deep Dark Orange, and this is a Cult Pens exclusive. So we'll do an ink swatch. And you can see that this is actually quite a nice colour. Now, as this colour is going on, I wouldn't really call this an orange. Maybe it is. Let me just do a double pass over the top so I can show you the difference between a wet and dry nib. And this is Diamine. And it is Deep Dark Orange, which I'm a little bit sort of, I don't know, is that an orange? Is that more of a reddish brown? I don't know, but we'll see what it turns out like once the ink has dried. The next one is a Diamine, and this is a Cult Pens exclusive, and it's Deep Dark Purple. Now, I do like my purple inks, so I'm hoping I'm going to like this one. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And I have to say that this is looking quite nice. And I've had a sample of this now for, I think, several years. And I haven't actually tried it. And because I wasn't really into ink samples. But I'm starting to think that actually this could be a really nice ink in a wet nib. So this is Diamine. And it's Deep Dark Purple. But that's looking quite nice. The next ink is Diamine Flowers, and this is Cornflower. So we'll do an ink swatch. And I have to say, this is another lovely blue colour. It's quite saturated as well. I'll do a second pass over the top just to see. I have a feeling this ink is going to sheen. How much though? We won't know until later. So this is Diamine Flowers. And it is Cornflower. The next ink is Diamine, and this is Music, and it's Strauss. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this started off a little bit wet, but it's going a bit dry now. I'm going to do a second pass over the top part just to show the difference between a wet and a dry nib. So this is Diamine, Music, and it is Strauss. Now, I'm not very good with pronunciation, but this is Diamine Ortloff, and it is Kolsch Tint. And this is a German exclusive. So we'll do an ink swatch. And I would have to say that this is a really nice red ink. It's getting a little bit dry towards the bottom there. I'll put a second pass on just to show the difference between hopefully a wet and a dry nib. So I'm actually going to abbreviate this. I'm just going to call this Diamine, and I'm just going to call it Ortloff. But that, I think, is quite a nice red ink. And then the final ink here is Diamine Desert Rose, which is a Romanian Pen Venture exclusive. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is quite a thick viscous ink, and that will mean that this will have sheening on it. So I'll do a second pass just over the top. But this is so thick it looks like paint. So this is Diamine. And it's Desert Rose. So let's take a look at these inks in a little more detail. So we have the Diamine Deep Dark Orange here, which I'm still not sure is an orange colour ink. What do you think? Is this orange, or is this red, or is this more of a sort of a terracotta? I kind of think it's more of a red towards terracotta for me, but this is Diamine Deep Dark Orange, which definitely looks brown, and certainly in the, I'd say in the writing sample there. Now, you can see the difference between a wet and a dry nib. There is some shading going on here around the pulled areas. And I want to say, yeah, there is some sheen. So there is some sheen around the edges here. It's very subtle, and also along the top here, the edge there. But it's very, very difficult to actually see that sheen, but it is sheening. Now, the next ink is Diamine Deep Dark Purple, and you can definitely see the difference between a wet and a dry nib. Now, the writing is quite dark. Now, there really isn't a lot of shading going on, maybe a little bit more on the drier areas. But this wet area, if I'm going to show you this, this is the amount of sheen that is there. There is a lot of sheen. And I'm trying to get this on camera. It's very difficult to see that here, but there is a huge amount of sheen going on. So that is a bit of a sheen monster. It's more of a muted sheen though. It's not like a bright gold sheen. But that is actually quite a nice ink. So I might have to maybe try that ink. I honestly prefer Diamine Majestic Purple, being a dark purple, but it sheens, but not as much as that. So I may have to give that one a try. The next one, which I did like the look of, is Diamine Flowers Cornflower. And it's difficult to see a little bit really between the wet and the dry area. There is some shading going on, but it's difficult to really see it. But again, there is some sheen there, and you can see that sheen. And it's more of a sort of like a light goldish, sort of almost bronze maybe. Yeah, maybe bronze. Sort of, there you can just about see it there. Look at that. That sheen. It's really quite nice. I like that blue colour as well, so I think this might be an ink that I'm going to have to buy at some point in the near future, because I do like the look of that ink. The next one is Diamine Music, and this is Strauss. And you can see the difference between a wet and a dry nib. You can also see that there is shading going on. But again, there is sheen. And I haven't actually seen sheen before on a red or brown ink to this level. So that has quite a lot of sheen there. So I'm actually quite impressed by that. That's an interesting colour. And again, it might be maybe a colour that I might need to look at adding to my collection at some point. The next ink is Diamine Ortlofs, and this is again a really nice colour for me. You can see the difference between a wet and a dry nib. There's not a lot of shading going on, a little bit maybe, but again, there is some sheen. And if you can get that on camera there, you'll see some of that sheen standing out. That really is quite interesting. It's not a heavy sheener, but it does sheen. And that is sort of a gold colour sheen. And then we have this one. And this is Diamine Desert Rose. And This one, well, you can't see the difference between a wet and a dry nib because it literally is the same. But it does, as you can see there, have an insane amount of sheen going on. That gold sheen is amazing. So, and if you look at the writing sample there, you'll see that there as well. So if you really want a sheening purple ink, then I would say go for Diamine Desert Rose. I'm just trying to think, there are some other ones as well. There's Darmline Purple Rain, which, to be honest, I find that this is almost identical for. So if you wanted to get Purple Rain, I think Darmline Purple Rain, I think, is a German exclusive, and this is a Romanian exclusive, or Pen Venture exclusive. So it depends really on which one that you could get, but I've found out that both of these colours are pretty much identical. So take your pick on either of those. So that's my Diamine Inks comparison number 6 video. If you like any of these inks, then let me know in the comments below. If there are any more Diamine inks that you would like to see me check out, then let me know in the comments below and I'll see what I can do to get hold of the inks. So that's my Diamine Inks collection number 6 video. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.